Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. Today I was just finished reading first issue special number 12 featuring Starman. Now this is not the Golden Age Starman or the Starman that would appear later in James Robinson's 90s run. No, this is Disco Starman. He has what would possibly be one of the worst looking costumes in history. It's some sort of like ballerina unitard for men? Maybe for men? Not 100% convinced on that. Well, it's written by Jerry Conway and edited by him. Art by Mike Vosberg and Mike Royer. Now, it starts off with a spacecraft crashing in the Bronx and a blue man emerging. He's disoriented, where he is, of course, summarily attacked by three disco studs. These three white guys are dressed horribly, and one has this awesome afro. Then the cops show up, and we are introduced to O'Donnell and Clarkson, Colonel Magruder of the U.S. Air Force. They came to see what's going on. Cops think it's a downed plane, but the military knows it's a UFO. Well, while they're arguing over jurisdiction, it blows up, killing Clarkson. In the meantime, our new hero staggers into a grocery store for some reason, breaks in for no apparent reason, then collapses. He used a sonic gadget to get rid of a gun by the shop owner, and this shop owner thinks that could make him some money, so he takes the guy in. Meanwhile, on the moon, yeah, that's where the aliens live, is the moon. It's not an original story per se, but it is a geodesic dome hidden from Earth telescopes by force shielding, which I think may be where they got the idea for the stupid Inhumans moon base on the moon. That was redundant. Anyway, here we learn about the political nonsense that's going on with Master Comac. He took over, claimed his ascension, although he probably was handed it. Anyway, he thinks that Starman is a traitor to his people, and Starman's real name is Michael Thomas, Mikaal, because it needed to be that way. And this guy's engaged the service of a mind slaver, first guardsman of the World Stone, Turan Ka. And he's sending this brutish thug with apparently superhuman strength to go and capture the Starman, Michael Thomas. And then we get a little bit of a flashback from Thomas about what happened. It turns out he's a traitor because him and his special lady Lissa were going to go warn the humans that an invasion was coming from the moon, and they killed her. And they found him guilty of treachery against the state. So he managed to escape and fled to Earth. And he tells all this to the shop owner and his wife, but they don't believe him, so he jumps out of a window, not to commit suicide, but to kind of fly away. The government and the military find another spacecraft just sitting in the harbor for some reason. And that's when we get the thug that was sent to dispatch with him, and they begin a fight in the streets of the Bronx, and that's where it ends on a cliffhanger ending that will never be resolved. I understand that Starman, this Disco Starman, did have some other appearances. I think he had a very short-lived series, and I know he did appear in the James Robinson 90s storyline where they kind of gave him some closure. I think they killed him off in a story somewhere along the line. I don't know if that was in JSA or in Starman, but I'm pretty sure they killed this one off. Anyway, the general premise wasn't bad, but the execution is pretty cheesy. It's definitely aimed at a young audience, and it's incredibly dated. It's got a real 70s feel, not just because of the costume. The dialogue's very rigid, very 70s, and it's not terribly interesting. The cover's pretty decent, but it's deceptive. That scene does not happen in the book, and the outfit you can see there is incredibly silly, but overall it's not a bad cover. So yeah, I don't know, this one was just kind of boring, didn't really do anything for me. I could see why this character didn't really last too long. They were trying to reboot Starman as a character but make him an alien this time, and it just doesn't work for me. So yeah, I'd have to say this one's probably a pass. I can see why this character didn't really take off. But that'll do it for this episode. As always, thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel, and we hope to see you on the next episode.